Okay, Anthony, I'm just going to go ahead and click live. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Looks like we're live now, and yeah, thank you everyone for joining. Um, we are live today on our YouTube with Anthony Monnoyeur. How do you say your last name, Anthony? I actually never asked you. Monnoyeur. Is that right? Okay. Awesome. So we're joined by Anthony, and he's an automotive designer, and is going to be showing some of his projects today that he's worked on, some internship projects, taking a little bit of a dive into his process, his design process, but also we're going to start out a little bit into his life and his journey, and yeah, we'll just go about it like that. If anyone has any questions for Anthony or for Gravity Sketch, please just pop it in the chat, and I'll be happy to answer your questions when I can, or when it's appropriate to send it over to Anthony. But yeah, feel free to ask any questions you might be having. Just pop it in the chat there. Just to quickly introduce myself, and then I'll throw it over to Anthony. My name is Jaron Dorman, and I'm the design community manager here at Gravity Sketch. And essentially, I just connect with all of you out there in the community to have these conversations, listen to what all of you are desiring and looking for with the tool, how you're getting along using the tool, as well as just helping you out, supporting, as well as creating some of our training content as well. So it's really truly an honor to interact with all of you, just amazing, talented designers and creators out there, and those like Anthony here. So. Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you today, Anthony, and I'll throw it over to you. If you could just introduce yourself, Anthony, real quick, and let everybody know a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Okay, well, hi everyone. My name is Anthony. I'm 22 years old, and I'm a transportation design student at Strat School of Design in Paris. I'm actually in fourth year, and yeah, I'm working to become a car designer.
Hey, Anthony, I'm not sure your audio is actually coming through. I can hear you, but I'm actually not sure it's coming through the actual stream. Let me just
Okay,
make sure it's working real quickly.
sure.
Okay, go ahead and say something.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Try that again.
Can you hear me?
Mm-mm. Yeah, and everybody in the chat, just let us know if you can hear as well. Uh, okay, go ahead, try again there, Anthony.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Nope.
Not yet. This is always live session.
Yeah, that's okay.
And you know what? Let's go ahead and start over too, and that's fine. We can cut this out when we actually post it too. It's not a big deal. Um, I think they can hear you, but it's only because it's coming through my microphone. So I actually want to be able to pick up your audio. We'll just go ahead and start over too when we get your audio going, and we'll do it that way. Just have a clean start, and we'll just trim it off the top when we actually post it.
Okay.
Um,
In Gravity Sketch, this is the...
okay, go ahead and say something.
Yeah, you hear me?
All right, cool. We got you. We got you coming through.
Okay, cool.
All righty. Sorry about that delay, everyone. Just some technical difficulties there. Yeah, so we're gonna totally restart from the beginning, and just have Anthony say that again. So, I think everybody could hear me, but just since we're starting from the top, My name is Jaron Dorman, and I'm the design community manager at Gravity Sketch. And I just basically connect with all of you out there. So it's great to be able to talk with talented designers and artists like we have Anthony today. So it's an honor to have you with us today, Anthony. We're going to be looking at some of his projects and just going to be going through some of the things that he's worked on as an intern. And then, but first, we're going to start a little bit about into his journey and his life. Anyway, I throw it over to you, Anthony. If you just want to please, once again, introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit about what you do.
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Anthony. I'm 22 years old, and I'm a transportation design student at Strat School of Design in Paris. And I'm actually working for becoming a car designer. So yeah.
Awesome. Um, yeah, I originally I saw your project on Instagram, the project that you did for your internship, and it's quite awesome. So we'll be looking at that shortly. But that was originally how you came across my radar. And just for all of you out there, we do these interviews because we really just like to highlight designers in our community, and it's not always about Gravity Sketch. We really want to spread around the different workflows and the different skill sets and processes that people in our community are using, even if it doesn't quite involve all Gravity Sketch. And so that's what we hope to do, and hope to provide just more information, nuggets of wisdom, potentially even. And so that's what we do these. I just want to say too, one more time, if anyone has any questions, please just pop it in the chat. I'll send it over to Anthony if you have any questions for Anthony. If there's any questions for me, I'll answer them whenever I can. But yeah, with that, I'll ask you this question, Anthony. What got you into design? What was the sort of the initial moment that made you decide I want to design cars? Maybe it wasn't even cars originally, but what was that sort of spark moment for you?
Well, that's a tough question. I think actually at the very beginning, I wanted to become a aircraft pilot, and actually I was very bad into mathematics. So,
Hmm.
but I was really into creating stuff and yeah, imagine some vehicles in my head. And I think yeah, the starting point of everything was actually, I remember when I was a kid, I saw for the first time the movie Iron Man, and I was inspired by Tony Stark and the way he was working with those crazy holograms and stuff. And yeah, as a kid, I wanted to do this. So the first like reaction was for me to become an engineer. And after I just discovered that the part like the engineer side is more technical and more into like math and stuff like that, and I was more interested into plans and making doodles and sketching and this kind of workflow. And yeah, and actually for the in the beginning of high school, we had to do a discovery internship kind of, and I had the amazing opportunity to go to Germany in the Studio Curbus for 2 weeks. And I think that was the beginning of everything. And I just like got the idea to become a car designer. I
Mm.
was always passionate about vehicles, in science fiction, and like the work of Daniel Simons as well.
Mm.
So yeah, I was really into vehicles and this kind of stuff. So I think yeah, I just fall into yeah, vehicles design and transportation design in general.
So it was really just those designers, those and the industry of industry of design, but you've always had an interest in vehicles. It seems then,
Exactly. Yeah.
and um, and so that experience is what sort of like drove you to becoming, sort of realizing I could do this myself, basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, and so, what was did you have any mentors or anybody along the way that helped encourage you or gave you some guidance when you were kind of in the early stages of trying to become an automotive designer, or even what that even could look like or mean?
Yeah, I think the first person who helped me through the process was Erwan Besançon. He's an exterior designer at Ford right now. And I met him. He was a French guy, and I met him in Germany in Studio Cobus. It's been a while, and also Andreas Kurbos, the CEO of Kurbos, and they pushed me into that way, into car design. And Erwan told me once that he did strat, and that's why I discovered the school.
Mm.
And then in school, I had amazing teachers who pushed me in that way as well. And obviously, yeah, when I did an internship at the mini design studio, Thomas Isha, who's the chief of the exterior design department, and Christine Zurian, who's a senior designer there, helps me a lot to improve my skills and yeah, like help me to become better and better every day. So yeah.
And you're primarily focused on exterior, right?
Yeah, a little bit more, but I like the way I'm really interested in the whole vehicle in general. I'm more into exterior because, yeah, I feel more familiar with it. But I like in my personal projects to work on both sides actually, like doing to have a complete vision of my project, and so start by the exterior and then work on an interior design as well.
Yeah, it's it seems like, and I would love to get your insights on this, especially when I was in school. It seemed like there's a lot more opportunity if you want to be an interior designer, especially because so much of the experience or where the direction is going with automotive design is the experience of the interior space, and it's really becoming all about the experience essentially. What's some of your thoughts on that? On in the automotive industry and where it's headed as far as you know jobs and opportunities and things like that, where there might be more, where it might be less saturated or a lot more demand.
Well, I think for there also there's a lot of people who told me that there's more opportunity about interior design in general, but I don't really think so because I think it's
Hmm.
like two different ways of working and thinking the design of a car. And I think there's a lot of people who wants to do interior design but also exterior design. I just think that there's maybe a little bit more people into exterior design, so maybe it's a department which is a little bit more competitive. So there's like, yeah, I mean, I I don't know. It's a different approach, and I think both sides are difficult to go in, and I think it's difficult to become an interior designer as well as an exterior designer.
Hmm.
And yeah, the approach in the interior is more maybe projecty, and the exterior is more like a sculpture, like
Mm.
more expressive things. Of It's a different way of sketching as well.
Yeah.
Like interior is more like practical and ergonomy and stuff like that, and exterior is more into like feelings and sensations about the car. So yeah.
Right. Very different. Yeah. But they have to like somehow communicate, talk to each other, right? Design language.
Exactly.
But but
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but yeah, it's very different though. In sort of the design process, and sort of what the end result is. Yeah, it's very interesting, and uh, I can see how. I mean, ultimately, yes, it's pretty difficult for both. I would assume to be either interior or exterior. I mean, I think there's this quote that I don't remember how the quote goes exactly, but someone said that you know it's harder to be a car designer than to be a professional NBA player. So
Yeah.
which makes a lot of sense. I mean, there's not very many. There's only so many car companies, and then there's even less designers that are needed. It's just it's very 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 laser focused.
Yeah.
Um, and so, if you could just talk a little bit about maybe that competitiveness, and but also maybe give a glimmer of hope to anyone that's watching, aspiring to be an automotive designer, um, and sort of I guess what it takes to make it in the industry.
Well, I think yeah, actually for becoming an I mean, I still a student, and there's a lot of things to learn still, but I think it's a very tough work actually, and to reach the level that is required for industries, because there's a lot of like yeah competitive spirit. I think you need to work very hard, and obviously to be ambitious if you want to work for a constructor or something like that in a car design studio. So yeah, like if you compare that to NBA, I think in the both works you need to work as hell and be motivated for
Yeah.
sure, because it's gonna be like for people who wants to become a car designer, it's gonna be hard, like definitely, and there's some nights that you will sacrifice for sure, to sketch like a lot and a lot again and again. And I think for NBA it's the same. You need to work to get the ball into to get point, and I think it's you need to work hard to reach your dreams. And I think so. I don't know. I would say that to reach your dreams, you have to get the opportunity that you have to be stay open and just work for you uh, as hard as you can to reach your dreams, and don't try to compare yourself to others. You're the only person you have to compare is you and only you, and this is how you like grow up together to get like better levels. And I think this kind of competitive spirit is very important, because this is how you like get checkpoints with your friends, and then okay, this guy did this, and maybe I'll try to do better, and then this is how you grow up. And I think it's very important, but it doesn't has to be in the wrong way. It could be very positive and very helpful for each designers. So yeah, I think it's a good way and of growing up and improving skills. Um, but yeah, it's still a very tough work actually.
Yeah, there was it looks like I Design Cars in the comments said there are more Major League Baseball players than employed car designers in the world,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
crazy,
which is crazy. um,
unbelievable.
but yeah, that's a really good point, and it's something that I've heard a lot, which is don't you compare yourself to other people, compare yourself, look only like, focused on your work, and don't compare yourself. I've heard that a lot, but it's just really true. It's just a really
It is.
really really true thing, and I think something that can't be said enough, because especially in this day and age with with social media and all the different sorts of inspiration tools that we have now, it's super easy to get carried away with too much input, too much inspiration, too much influence,
Exactly.
and not sort of finding your own voice or finding your own style, and maybe looking to things in your own life that are unique to you, that inspire you.
Yeah,
That could be sort of like the sort of the nuggets of uniqueness that can play into your work. Um,
definitely.
could you talk a little bit about maybe some of that for yourself? What's some of been those unique points of inspiration for you in your work?
I don't know. I think in the beginning, I think it's very natural for everyone to see what other car designers can do to like. I think it's important in a way to know what you like, what you dislike,
Hmm.
and trying to find your style. But the trap there is that if you if you watch too much those things, then you're gonna fit too much to the style of another car designer.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, I was in this point, and then once I tried to like create my universe, my style, I wanted to get detached from it. And then so like for example, I tried to not like get inspired by Instagram anymore, and more like creating my I don't know my bank of images.
Mm.
So I get my inspiration a lot from nature, biomimicry a lot as well, architecture and product design. And yeah, I think now in my workflow, I really like to find very interesting images, maybe sometimes like some abstract images, and
Yeah.
then trying to think how can I bring this to a car design, and like in how can I bring this kind of emotions into my designs. Yeah, I think it's very important to get inspired inspired by things that are not directly related to car design.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that my professors would say was like, stop looking at other people's car designs.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, and yeah, nature's such a great one, right? Because it can be interpreted differently by each person, and it's almost getting down to like the essential, the most natural design
Yeah.
inspiration you could possible. Um,
Really.
but yeah, that's super cool. And I don't know if you've ever. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it, but we've seen designers using like AI images or AI imagery for inspiration as well, which is a pretty cool sort of, I think, modern example of finding inspiration from things that isn't necessarily created by a person, but it's like almost like free ideas,
Yeah.
and just a way for you to kind of kickstart your imagination. Have you tried any of that or used any of that or?
No, I never tried, but I think it could be a very interesting way to work.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think could be super smart to like collaborate with IA and try to like get faster in the process and maybe like use IA to maybe like get I don't know, like 100 idea in 1 minute, and
Mhm.
then so you get faster, and then you can use those kinds of tries and then rework on it. I think it could be very interesting, and yeah, I think it's the future actually.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty amazing what's been possible so far,
Yeah.
just with the AI generated, imagery, and just a lot of you're seeing a lot of new tools implement AI based um, sort of programs in order to sort of auto generate things, and so to me that just further expands iterative ideas. I don't think a lot of people are afraid it replaces a designer or artist. I don't think so, because you still need that designer touch. You still need that human touch. But
Exactly.
what it is a iteration ideation tool, to spark your ideas. At least that's what it seems like to me right now. Until an AI can actually be creative, which I don't know. I think we might be pretty far off, but we'll see. um,
Yeah, definitely. It's yeah, I think it's gonna be the future, and it's very interesting. But yeah, like you said, it's we still need this kind of human touch, like I don't think an AI can reach like this kind of sensitivity of human.
yeah, absolutely. Well, I want to dig a little bit into your projects. I know people would love to see that, and I want to give enough time to sort of go through a little bit of your process and talk about some of the different projects that you've done. Um, Maybe we can start with your mini project from your internship, uh, and talk about a little bit just like what the project was about and some of your processes. Maybe we can start with that one if you'd
Yeah.
be interested in sharing.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna
Cool.
try to share the screen. There you go. Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yeah, it looks great.
Okay. Yeah, I just found you an images what I was saying about Iron Man. Like this is why I like the gravity sketch workflow, because it reminds me this kind of sensation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
that was fun. So yeah. So yeah, for the mini project, I'm gonna go super quickly into like the analysis and stuff.
Sure.
But I was interested in the fact that in our society we are like super unfocused on what is essential in life, and like too much focus on smartphones and stuff. I'm
Hmm.
gonna go very quick, and also that we don't spend too much time on what is essential. That we are like too much wasting time in like non-essential things, I would say.
Hmm.
And the context of the project, it was that like right now in 2020, the estimation is like 7.7 billions of people on Earth, and about like for 2040, it's gonna be like around 10.2 billions people. So we have like an exponential demographic expansion. So we're gonna be like a lot of people, and I think the question was to think about sharing system for Mini. So I wanted to bring like new values, and my question was to how to create a sharing system in order to save resources while proposing a luxurious experience of mindfulness. Because actually Mini it's a premium brand, and I think clients of Mini are still like in a way that they want to own their car, but how can I keep this notion into in the context of like demographic expansion, and like we have to start sharing stuff and sharing like services and cars actually. So for this, I worked on the Generation Z, so in 2040,
Hmm.
and I designed like two different experiences. Like the first one was more like into a go-kart experience, and the other one like a lounge experience. So I wanted to work in a personalization kind of project. And so yeah, actually, very simply, the project is like two different capsules, which are equipped by the same wheel system, which can be detached from the capsule. And actually, when you park your car and you don't use it, you can like share with other Mini users your wheels, and then the other person who wants to use his car can use your wheels. And it's like a sharing system between, and it's a way to create a community between like the different Mini users.
Hmm.
Sketching and ideations, like some doodle about the proportions and stuff. Some other like Photoshop sketching through like themes. That was a key sketch of the first car, and still some like like doodling and Photoshop rendering. And after this step, I wanted, because I really like the sketch, the big sketch here. And so in my workflow, in a research step, because Gravity Sketch for me, I think it's a very fast and very effective tool to get like the volume that you want. So on the right, you can see like a very rough like 3D modeling of my idea. So maybe it helps me to get to know like if the proportions could work, or you have the doodle on the left side, and I wanted to try the proportions and see if it works in 3D.
Yeah.
And after that, getting more into details, but still having this development of the second car. I was working on the two cars at the same time. That was the final sketching of the car, and then after this step, I start modeling more into details. So that was the lounge one, and that was the go kart project, like the go kart mini.
Yeah.
And that was the wheels. So I wanted to use wheels for delivery as well, because when you park, when like every capsule in the same zone is parked, I was interested in the fact that you can still use the mini wheels for delivery services actually.
Yeah.
Also worked on the rims. So on the left side is some Photoshop rendering, and on the right it's like a Gravity Sketch 3D. Um, Also, I worked on the interior, so you have a 3D base based on like I did it on Gravity Sketch as well. So like the rendering, it's a little bit of Photoshop on my 3D base actually.
Yeah.
And that was the other interior. And this is like the three final model that I did in Gravity Sketch. So yeah, the like I wanted to work on like different expression, different characters for the cars. So you've got the protective one and the playful one and the more friendly one. Depends on the experience that you're living with the car. And that was the final interiors of the car. So on the left side is the go kart one, so the middle one here, and on the right is the lounge one, which is fully autonomous, and the left one there. So yeah, and I wanted to work on different experiences for the clients, and that was my final plotter for the project. and then you've got like final shots of the Gravity Sketch 3D of the lounge car, of the mini robot with the box, and the go kart one.
Now, what did you use for the final 3D? Was it Gravity Sketch, or did you bring it into something else to kind of
Uh,
tighten it up? Or
no, actually, I did my renders in Keyshot.
okay, but the models were Gravity Sketch models, or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
wow,
Only gravity, only. Sorry, only Gravity Sketch.
wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, I love the style. I really love the design. And I noticed too that you had a kind of a heavy pink and purple sort of color color family there, and I really liked that. What was the inspiration for that?
I don't know. You know, in general, in my portfolio, when I put a project, I like to put like a color theme. So when
Yeah,
you go through like different projects, you have a like a different feeling. And yeah, I wanted to work on something which is big color, like white and black culture kind of inspiration. And yeah, and I don't know, with this kind of design, I had a inspiration from retro, like I don't know, like wavy, the wavy kind of music, like electro wavy, which is a little bit retro, and
yeah,
then this kind of musics in general, like the themes and the color, or like purple, blue, a little bit of orange. So I was inspired in this kind of style, actually.
very cool. Yeah, I like it. It makes it like really pop, and you don't see a lot of automotive. At least I haven't seen a lot of automotive project with this kind of color scheme, so I think it makes it stand out even more, which is pretty cool. Um, yeah, what a cool lineup, and the fact that you really fleshed out those interiors as well is really nice. And so this was your internship project at Mini,
It
correct?
is, yeah.
Okay. Um, and how was that presentation? What was that like when you were, what was the process, and what was that like working, with the team, and presenting your project, working on your project, you know,
Yeah,
throughout your time there?
actually, yeah. Actually, that was pretty cool. So each weeks, I had a meeting with Christine Zurian about my project, and so I was working on like confidential stuff principally, and then on site I was working on my internship project when I had time. And yeah, so each weeks I had a meeting with her, and we were discussing about what can we improve, maybe like in terms of proportions and like the storytelling of the project. And so yeah, step by step we improved the project, and she really helps me a lot in my iterations. And like I think I improved a lot in terms of yeah, getting proportions and like build a very coherent vision of a car, actually.
Yeah.
And yeah, through the process I was interested in different kind of experiences. So it was a lot of work to work on three cars, but
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, why not? So
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, and they obviously, it can be tricky, especially when you have like a lineup or you have multiple vehicles, because um, making sure that they look like they're in the same family or make sure they're related to each other, it can sometimes be harder than you think.
yeah,
And you definitely did that super well here, it seems. And yeah, that's really cool. And your process seems pretty straightforward. So you essentially started with some sketches, some doodles, and then went into Gravity Sketch for at least some base models in the beginning, and then used it looks like for your final models with some. I'm assuming some. You did some key shot, and then I'm assuming some like Photoshop touch up afterwards.
just a little bit of Photoshop for like the mood and just improving the shots.
Yeah.
But yeah, in my workflow in general, I like to work with doodles, and then since I get something that I find interesting, I just go through with Photoshop and then trying to define my themes and stuff. And when actually I like the gravity sketch tool because it brings me another vision, you know, like
Hmm.
sometimes when I sketch, I can feel like blocked into my 2D renderings, and so I can use like gravity sketch to get the 3D and then just like bring me a more open vision of and more like global vision of what I search for.
Yeah, and how many iterations or I don't know even how to phrase it, but sketches or gravity sketches, 2D sketches, how many different,
for
you know,
for this project.
yeah, for this project did you go through in order to get to sort of this final look? Because I noticed in the early stages it looks fairly pretty different from the final.
Yeah.
Um, so there was obviously a shift there, but what was I guess if you could put a number to it.
I don't know because yeah, for the I guess for the car, like each cars, I did maybe like 4 or 5 models in Gravity Sketch.
Hmm.
And yeah, for like Photoshop, I was just like trying to sketch every day to find my themes and stuff.
Hmm.
So yeah, for Gravity Sketch, it was maybe yeah 5 to 4 per car, and
And then
yeah,
2D sketches, just bunches and bunches of 2D sketches.
yeah, exactly like
Yeah. And
that
that's really
was
what it takes, right? Just to get to that design. I mean, you got to get through all of the bad ideas, right, to get to the few
yeah,
good ones.
definitely.
Um, well, I know you've had a few other projects that you wanted to also share. I wanted to give you enough time to show those too.
Yeah, sure.
Um, and I think this is a good time too. If anybody has any questions for Anthony, feel free to pop it in the chat. I can shoot it over to him, and I can, when it's appropriate, I can pop up with your questions. So feel free to ask away. Um,
But yeah, actually, I did some other projects before the mini project. Sometimes it was just like sides project, personal projects. Actually, I discovered like Gravity Sketch through the contest of Crypto Motors. I think it was 3 years ago. And I had the chance to try to use Gravity Sketch. I just saw for the first time like those kinds of workflow on internet, and I had the chance to try it. I really liked it, so yeah, I just kept pushing on it, and that was pretty interesting. I had a lot of fun on the pod racer project actually.
yeah,
Uh,
I really like this one too.
Thanks. Yeah, actually, it was a challenge for me, and because I really like Star Wars and this kind of science fiction universe in general, and I think that the pod racer is very cool. So yeah, I had the idea to create mine, and so yeah, I tried to, because also it was a challenge for me because at this time I had the Oculus One, the
Mm,
Oculus Quest One, and I wanted to know how far I can push it in terms of details.
yeah,
So yeah, I tried to put as much as details as I could on the engines of the pod racer, and yeah, it was a pretty fun project actually. So yeah, you got it here with more colors.
yeah, it's awesome.
So that was a key shot render, I think so also. And yeah, I tried to push the details as much as I could, and I tried to model as well the interior and the character of the pod racer.
Yeah,
It was pretty fun.
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I just love the. It's what I love about this project as well is just all the detail, and yeah, just everything. I mean, that you got the character, the interior, everything. Um, so, and you said this was on Quest that you did this on?
Yeah, I did this on the Oculus Quest One.
Wow, that's amazing. I think it constantly amazes me what people are able to do just on the mobile device, mobile headset, and just truly being able to be tetherless is incredible.
Thanks.
Um, and so Was this so? Would you say this was like a passion project, just like something you wanted to really try and see where it could go?
Yeah, it was just a personal challenge for me, and I had time at this time, so yeah, I just wanted to try and to
Yeah.
see how far I could. And actually, I'm also very interested in animations and stuff in general because I was trying to work on Blender for animations, and so actually I modeled this pod racer because my like next challenge was to make an animation of like a very small scene of Star Wars. um, I have I have it here if you want to see it. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'd love to see that.
Okay. Okay. I hope that the sound is gonna work.
That's awesome.
I had a lot of fun.
Well, that was I mean that's a pretty complex shot there. I mean, that's uh a lot of different camera angles, a lot of like camera movement.
Yeah,
That's pretty
that was a
cool.
mess with my computer actually.
Yeah. Did you use EV or did you use cycles to render out the final rendering of that?
This is full EV.
Wow. So probably a little bit faster rendering there,
Yeah,
which
actually,
probably
yeah,
helped with the time
definitely.
aspect. Wow, that's really awesome. Um, yeah, and the music and everything is it's perfect. Yeah, it's pretty amazing what we've been able to see people use. Been able to do with Gravity Sketch to Blender. We do want to do a lot more Blender workflow videos too, because we just see a lot more people using that type of workflow, as well as the traditional CAD pipeline. Bringing it into Rhino and things
Yeah.
like that. Besides Gravity Sketch, what are some of the other tools that you have used that you use along on your tool belt um, for more refined type models?
Actually, I start because at Strat we first had some 3D courses, 3D lessons. So I started with SolidWorks at the beginning, but that was like I don't know, like that was not my thing. And I
Yeah.
switched on Fusion 360 after that. And then I was started Blender a little bit on sites, and then I discovered Gravity Sketch. And I think there's like two ways of working with polygons. You've got the Blender methods with the computer, but I feel more familiar with Gravity Sketch, even if it's like a little bit tricky with your eyes sometimes when you
Yeah.
like have a lot of time in the headset. But I don't know. I feel more familiar because it's like you're in the 3D and you can play with your hands. And I don't know, like maybe it's a little bit less precise and accurate than Blender for now, but
Hmm.
I can still handle it, and it's still very interesting for me. And I think my workflow is way faster with Gravity Sketch than other like 3D software in general. So now this is the only software that I use,
Wow.
and I do my renders on Keyshots and Blender. Sometimes depends on depends on what I want to do.
Yeah. Wow. It's just amazing. You know, because we've definitely seen several designers just kind of like going full Gravity Sketch for like everything, which is amazing. And the fact that you can do that is really cool. Yeah, there's some areas of precision that we want to bring to the future with Gravity Sketch, but it's never we never mean it to be a replacement for CAD or to be even like a VR version of Blender. We want people to, if anything, if any features that we add, it's always that, is this helping you get your idea better out? Is
Yeah,
this helping you get your idea out better? Essentially, is the question that we're always asking. Not just, you know, is this a 3D feature that that we can make work in Gravity Sketch? The question is, why is it in Gravity Sketch? And so, um,
yeah,
which is a little bit of a segue into just, we really do listen to a lot of your feedback out there. When you send us ideas, feedback on different tools or features that could be added, we really listen to all that, and we love it when it repeats too, because that further reinforces, there's something in particular we need to like put our efforts towards and focus on. So yeah, thank you all of you out there that send us our feedback and everything. There's somebody on the chat is asking, what about your desktop background? Is that also your work?
Yeah, actually, no, it's the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
And it's a
Um,
pretty cool design as well.
oh yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you, what are some other projects that you're working on now? What's coming up next for you? In regards to design projects or just anything else in general that's coming up that you maybe want people to know about.
Actually, so when I first discovered Gravity Sketch, that was because of the crypto motors concept, and I had the amazing opportunity to win this contest.
Wow.
And so at this moment, I designed a car for this contest. And so right now I'm still working with them on like the updates version of my contest, because it was like my concept, because it was like yeah, 3 years ago, I think.
Wow.
So yeah, we are working on a new version, but it's kind of confidential, so I cannot show you anything for now. But
Sure, sure.
I did like first like I did the update on Gravity Sketch. I did some renders, and then I directly went through Gravity Sketch to model my idea, and then I'm working with the team to improve it. And I think the car is gonna be released in maybe this summer. So yeah,
Oh, very cool.
so I'm working on this right now.
Awesome. Yeah.
This project as well right now, but I don't have like new stuff to show you right now. But it's
Yeah, that's
I
totally
keep you
fine.
posted.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
I'll keep
Um,
you posted.
looks like our stream went out there for a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I can't wait to see that. I'm definitely excited. Yeah, anybody watching, stay tuned with Anthony's stuff. We also have linked your Instagram and your Behance in the description. If there's anything else you'd like us to link to, let me know and I'll add it in the description. Um, but we're sort of getting towards the end of the chat here, and something I always ask all the guests lately is there any piece of advice you'd like to give to an aspiring car designer, maybe a new student, or wants to go to school to learn automotive design, or just anything in general? Maybe it's not even related to design. Maybe it's a piece of wisdom that you just learned that's been really impactful in your life. Is there a piece of wisdom that you'd like to pass along?
Um, well, yeah, I think I think whatever you want to do in life, like could be like car design, or I don't know, like aircraft pilot, or like the dreams that you want to achieve. Um, you have to think that you can definitely do it, and I'm pretty sure that anyone can reach his dreams. He just his or her just have to uh, yeah, just have to push and work for his dreams, their dreams. And yeah, I think it's a quite complicated question, but I think everything is reachable, and if you work hard and you still have faith into your dreams, and like you're gonna reach it for sure.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure that anything in life could be reachable,
Hmm.
as much as you like work hard for reach it, and like keep being motivated by I don't know, by others, and I don't know, yeah, just like keep pushing, and you can do it for sure.
Awesome. Well, appreciate that. Yeah, Jules Helslewin says, "Go full throttle, never give up."
Definitely.
Yeah. No, I think that's great.
Right.
And kind of sums up what you said there, which is just, yeah, really go for it, and you can get it if you work hard. Um and we got into a little bit of that with actually our last interview with Dan Shirley. We talked just a bit about sort of just getting yourself out there.
Definitely.
Um,
Yeah.
but well, I just really want to thank you for your time, Anthony, and thank you for sharing your projects and your process, sharing a little bit about your journey. It's been really eye opening and intriguing. And I look forward to seeing more projects you're working on and seeing more of your work, especially that one coming out this summer. I'm definitely going to be
Okay.
keeping my eyes open for that. And yeah, anyone watching, go ahead and follow Anthony and see his awesome stuff. Um, and then stay tuned. We're going to do another one of these interviews. We do these um, roughly every 2 weeks, it seems. So stay tuned for more announcements and things like that. But yeah, thank you again, Anthony. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. That was cool.
Awesome. Well, see everyone, and have a great rest of your week. Bye now.
See you guys.